This is a short video for our 2-hour staff enrichment time, which will be Monday, February 10th, 2020. This is our 6th staff enrichment of the school year. This video is going to cover a big thank you to everybody for all their hard work, 2, our expectations for Monday, and 3, clarity on our 2 goals for the year. Huge thank you to everybody for all your hard work on unwrapping of the standards, building curriculum maps, working on overviews, assessments. For those of you who have tried out chalk.com, appreciate all that you're doing. We are getting better in our district everywhere, and it's all due to your incredibly hard work, willingness to collaborate with one another, and trying new things. I just want to thank you for that. I can't thank you enough. Can't emphasize how much hard work that you're doing, and yet you're always willing to do more and to help everybody get better. And we get better from learning from each other. So huge thank you to everybody. Our expectations for Monday, February 10th, pretty simple. One, I thought it might be a great idea to do a warm-up R-Factor calendar challenge. If you look at your calendar that Jan Gluth and others have contributed to in designing this month of February, there is a challenge, a 7-day challenge to gratitude. I thought we could spend 10 to 15 minutes just to share out in our teams some awesome thanks to our colleagues for making coming to work great, for the things we do for one another, just to give thanks to each other. And also reflect on possibly some of the great solutions that you've come up with this year as a team. Look at your work at collaborating and think of some of the great things that you've done. And just a little part of that 7 days to gratitude challenge that's on our calendar to reinforce some of our R-Factor work and just be great humans to one another, giving thanks to one another and pointing out where we have done great work. So that's how I'd like you to start the day. Follow the plan that you submitted back in September. We do have 2 goals for the end of the school year. One is to create an overview, which is sort of a pacing guide, if you will, of our standards. And the other is to create just one assessment. We will have adoption team of social studies meeting in the Board of Education conference room from 8 to 9. We'll have a vendor present to share some resources, and we'll talk about the adoption a little bit more in detail with social studies. Would love for high school social studies teachers to join us. You're more than welcome, but I know Mr. Steyer is going to be having a meeting about collaboration times at the high school, and that comes first. If you are part of that meeting, please stay at that meeting. If you're not, we welcome you over to the Board of Education conference room from 8 to 9 if you're a social studies teacher to hear what we're talking about with the vendor and look at some of the resources that they've brought in. I would love for science adoption teams to meet on your own, in your own buildings, in your own grade level, just to talk about what your needs and plans are for the year. We need to get some clarity there. And I'm going to follow this segment with 2 very short video segments within this video, clarity on our overview and clarity on our assessment goals for the year. All right, use your staff resource tab to look at our curriculum maps. If yours isn't up there, please send me an email. We'd love to add yours to it. Overview. All right, so one of our goals for the school year is to create an overview. It's a budget of our standards. In a perfect school year with no cancellations, no students being absent, if you could fit every single Ohio Learning Standard in your content area into the year, where would it go and how long would you spend on it? Where would it go in the school year and how long would you spend on it? That's what our overview is. And it's a very short, quick document that we're going to provide a template for you with right now if you don't want to design your own that you can use very quickly and easily to put those standards in there. And when I say the standards, we're not talking copy and pasting the standards. We just want that abbreviated code. Where in the year would it go? Which semester? How long would you spend on it? Weeks? And we'll take a look at that in just a second. If you need a template, I have one. I'm going to show you. You can create your own. We can create another one. I can work with you on that. I'm going to provide some examples. Again, it's very short, shouldn't take much time, and we're going to budget all of the standards, and then we'll adjust as we move forward. If you're using chalk.com, it can do a lot of this work for you, but we want to have one document, like a one sheet of where our standards are at in a school year. Okay, we're also, another goal with our team, both of these are working with other people, one assessment, just one in any of your areas. Just create one assessment, maybe focus on a standard that our district wants to improve on. How do we know? You could use that item analysis to look at a standard that we didn't do as well as we wanted to, and just focus on an assessment that looks at 1 or 2 of those content statements. There's lots of things you can look at in the design of that assessment. With your team, you could talk about depths of knowledge, what feedback you want to offer to the student, what interventions you want to provide. There are so many areas that you might want to consider. Just talk to your team about it. Our goal is simply to make one awesome assessment that drives our instruction and helps us build our unit around that particular assessment. There's no right or wrong way to do the overview, but there's always a better way. There's no right or wrong way to design this assessment, but there's always a better way. And that better way can always be found in the rich conversations and collaborations we have with our colleagues. Together, we are better. And so that's why we're focusing on this. If your assessment or your overview is finished, please send those to me. Again, you can use the item analysis to take a look at content statements that we could improve upon to help us design that particular assessment. Now I'm going to jump over to Chrome browser, and I'm going to go to Google Docs. If we look inside Google Docs, Miss Moyer has added a template, all right? And you can find the templates right over here. It says Template Gallery. You may need to toggle this to look at all of them. Here you will find Port Clinton Curriculum Overview Template. If you select that, you can use this template or design your own, however you'd like. But here we have the course that you would add. And you might want to say who you are and who you're working with, etc. Just add their names, what grade level, all that. Over to the left, we have all of our weeks. Here you might have a topic in a resource that you use, or you might have your own area of focus. But this is where we put the learning standards. And so I know the first 2 weeks of school, I'm going to be working on a particular standard. I'm going to spend 2 weeks on it. And down here, I know at the end of the school year, wherever, I would add that other standard, a writing standard, something along those lines. And then I can add to these other columns. But what we're primarily focused on right now is where the Ohio Learning Standards are going to be taught in a perfect school year and how long are we going to spend on them. And so I might have multiple standards in a week, whatever writing standard or whatever, group them or pair them together. And so topics, Ohio Learning Standards, and duration. If this template doesn't work for you, you can design your own, or I can work with you to design one. So that is our overview. If you have any questions and need help, I would love to work with you on that. Our assessment, our one assessment for clarity on that, is just looking at the item analysis. And that's it. So looking at building one assessment that focuses on a couple of content statements, however long or short you want to make it. Talk with your group about what a great assessment would be to really help us in that area. And so that's really it. That's what we're focusing on Monday. Just follow the plan that you submitted. We are going to have that social studies adoption team in the Board of Education office. Would love for you to do the R-Factor calendar challenge, driving to the end of the year on those 2 goals, that overview and that one assessment. Please email me with any questions. I'd love to work with your group. I'm going to be with the adoption team in the Board of Education office from 8 to 9, but I'll be stopping in other groups during the day. And again, I thank you for all that you do. You're absolutely awesome. Thanks.